Help me, Mama.
This is Emily with Help Me Mommy, Help Me Mama. Today I'm going to be talking about a subject that I know is very near and dear to all of our wifely hearts. This might be a difficult video for some of us to watch, but bear with me. I have some useful information for you, okay? I talked to my husband about these things. This is a husband-approved video, hopefully. And let's talk about how do I get my husband, that man, how do I get that man to help me out? How do I get that man to help me with the kids or with household chores or whatever it may be? And after talking with him, after having many struggles of my own, I have a very short, simple, sweet answer for you ladies. Okay, before I say anything, it is all about attitude. If you are cranky pants and you're just thinking about yourself, chances are he is too, and you're not going to be able to get anywhere when both of your attitudes are like that. So I suggest you first, lady, you check your attitude. Okay, let's move on. So number one is very simple. Ask nicely. It's a who would have thought, right? I think a lot of times we get into a routine of like, honey, you don't do this. Honey, da. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. Why don't you do this? What, don't you see that the child is crying? Will you just and then you start sounding like the guy from Home Alone. Okay, that is not the way to ask for help. I have asked that way. It does not work. Okay? I have thought of two nice ways to ask your husband, and it kind of depends on the husband, but between these two, your husband will probably fit into one or both of these like archetypal men types, okay? The first one is business. Your man might be more of like a mellow, steady, sort of business. He's got the business face on. He's like pretty unemotional. What I suggest, you don't have to tell him that you're doing this, okay? It could be possibly insulting, but in your own mind, when you're asking him for help, I would say actually first, if you're doing this, do a refresher, like a whole refresh week. Do not gripe at your husband for like a whole week, like set the refresh button. Then, when you ask for help, think of it as like a business meeting, okay? So you've been really nice doing On Your Best Behavior for a couple of days now, and it's like Wednesday night, he's sitting relaxed on the couch, and you just sit next to him in a very nice way and have a, without calling it this, business meeting. You say, honey, we're having more kids. We just had a new baby. I feel like my department of responsibility has grown, and I need time to grow in my skills, and I need your help while I grow in my skills, and I need your help acquiring those skills. Would you please help me? Because I want to take care of this department. This is my department. I love this department. But at this time, my department has grown to just like you would go to a boss, okay? This is like a business meeting. He's the head of the household. You're going to him for help. Help me get there. And help me in the meantime while I'm not there, okay? And you ask him in a nice and respectful way. And then when you ask him to do little things, it's like no nagging, no griping, just like, honey, would you mind doing the dishes? That would be so helpful to me. Honey, if you could just wipe down a counter while I do this over here, I would certainly appreciate it. Show appreciation, be respectful when you ask, okay? So that is business. The other side, say your husband is more of a romantic, he's a little bit more of an emotional guy. Every man, I would say, wants to rescue a princess, right? If you're married to a man, you're his princess, okay? So this is like across the board. All men, even my businessman man, like, he loves Zelda. The princess motif is why Zelda exists, right? It's why Princess Peach exists. It's why, there's always a princess, there's always a hero, like the men. This is why men buy $100 baby safety equipment so they can watch your baby and have like the baby monitor, and they're like super secure, and this is why they have like a knife in their pocket just in case somebody was gonna, like, they want to be the hero, right? Okay, but you can't get them to be the hero around the house, right? So when you ask, you're a princess. You are not a dragon. No man wants to rescue a dragon. So if you find yourself breathing fire at your husband, you need to check your attitude, sister. Check your attitude. You are not a dragon. You are a princess, someone that your husband can rescue. And you can tell him this. Say, honey, I don't want to be a dragon. I want to be a princess. I need you to come rescue me. Just tell him, like, when I give you the longing look and I'm dealing with a tantrum child, or if the kitchen is overwhelming, the kitchen is my tower of loneliness. Please come rescue me. But again, do it in a respectful way. Nobody wants a whiny princess either, okay? So that first one, ask nicely. Number 2 has a couple of qualifiers, okay? So hold on. If you have a bad reaction to number 2, hold on, okay? Number 2 is more you know what. You know what I'm talking about. Come on, baby. I'm going to try to use mom code here, but like, ladies, you know what this 3-letter word is, okay? Now, as I say this, okay, hold on. Just hold on here, okay? You might have 3 different reactions. Now, I'm going to explain this one too. You might have 3 different reactions. Number 1, and I hope most of you have this reaction, like, okay, that's simple, I can do that. Hopefully that is your reaction. And that would be wonderful, right? Reaction number 2. Well, I would be willing to do that if he would just do this, right? Okay. Again, I'm going to have you check your attitude. You are not having an attitude of love toward your husband, okay? And that is exactly what you are requiring from him. You want him to be selfless and thoughtful and do what you want before you ask, right? If you wanted to do that for your husband, you know what I'm talking about. That's what he wants. And it's actually simpler for you to do that for him than for him to do that for you, because the things that you want on your list are like 100,000 teeny tiny little things that he needs to do. All he wants is just one thing. It's just one thing, sister. Cheerfully, right? Happily, okay? So he just wants that one thing. Now, this is not a, I'll do this for you if you do this for me. That's not a good attitude for you to have in your marriage, okay? This is a, out of love, honey, I respect you. I want you to love me. I want to show you love. So I am going to be your garden of delights, as Song of Solomon says, right? I am going to be your garden of delights, and I hope that you respond in kind, but I'm just going to do this in love, okay? So again, all about the attitude. You want him to have the attitude towards you that you want towards him, but you're not having that attitude yet, so you gotta have that attitude before he has the attitude. If that makes sense. The third year response that you might have is the person here. Okay, sister, I'm gonna just tell you, I have been there. okay? And if you're at crying, if you burst into tears when I said more you know what, then I'm gonna say, take a pause on number 2, refer to number 1, okay? If you burst into tears, you don't need to work on number 2 yet. You just focus on number 1 and you go talk to a mature Christian woman about 20 years ahead of you in marriage, okay? And you take care of that bursting into tears issue, and it just means that there's something else going on, and you need the wisdom and guidance of a woman who has gone before you, okay? The prayers of the women in my church, the Lord heard their prayers. I have been so blessed by their wisdom and their prayers. Okay, there is hope if you are in the bawling your eyes out stage, okay? You are not the only one. You do not need to be ashamed, okay? But don't do number 2. Just stick to asking nicely for now and work on this in a different sphere. Okay, last thing about number 2 is that I read a very good book. It's called The Good Girl's Guide to You Know What. Lots of good information. I read it when I was in the crying stage, and one of the things it said is that I think this woman, she told this story about how she decided that she was going to do that for her husband cheerfully every day in a month, and without her ever asking. He did the dishes, he brought her flowers, he played with the kids right when he came home from work. He was just a happy, happy man, okay? This makes our men happy. It makes them think about us in a positive way, okay? You want your husband to think about you like men, they think about it all the time, right? We don't think about it all the time. Imagine if you have this in a positive light, he's going to be thinking about you personally in a positive light. Like, how often would you say, honey? Like, just a lot. Okay, just a lot. You want your husband thinking about you in a positive way so that when he comes home from work, he's like, I love you, honey. I will do those dishes. I will play with our beautiful children, okay? But it starts like your attitude. And again, like I always say in between, pray for the good attitude. Pray for control of your tongue so that you can ask nicely. Pray to be respectful. You pray to have a good attitude on this front. Hopefully this will be helpful to you. It is a prayerful matter. You want to work as a team with your husband. Ask him. Oh, the other thing Ivan just said was timing. Don't ask him when he's cranky. Don't ask him when he just walks in the door, okay? Be considerate of your husband just like you want him to be considerate of you. I hope this helps you. Pray to the Lord for strength, sister. This is Emily for Help Me Mama. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. You can also subscribe and tell a friend if you thought it was helpful. I appreciate it. I'm here for you, girl.
Help me, Mama.